Welcome students to session number 36. Today we are going to start with a very new chapter, that is laws of motion, chapter number 5. Now basically this chapter is from the field of dynamics. I have already discussed 3 fields of mechanics, sub branches of mechanics. The first was statics, that deals with what? Stationary objects or the objects which are at rest. Yes or no? Second was dynamics or kinematics, you can say. So kinetics and kinematics, that was one statics, dynamics and kinematics. This branch, kinematics, is the branch of mechanics that deals with what? Study of motion of an object without considering the cause for the motion. In kinematics, we don't consider the cause for the motion. Cause for the motion means why this motion has happened, what is the reason behind that this motion we has not studied in the branch of kinematics. But there is third branch that is known as dynamics, in which we study the cause for the motion, that what is the reason behind this motion. Clear? So dynamics is a branch of mechanics that deals with study of motion of an object, considering the cause of the motion is taken into account in this branch. This chapter, laws of motion, belongs to the category of dynamics. Remember, dynamics was a branch of mechanics in which there was a lot contribution given by Newton's by postulating its laws of motion. There are 3 laws of motions, yes or no, for Newton case. The number 1 is what? Newton's first law of motion. Second, Newton's second law of motion. Third is Newton's third law of motion. What is first law of motion? Every body in a state of rest or in motion will continue to be in the state of rest or motion unless and until acted upon by some external force. Means if the object is lying here stationary, this object will be continue to stay in the stationary state only unless and until you act some force, unless and until acted upon by some external force. If you apply external force on it, it will start moving. Till this clear? And suppose if you are throwing a ball and it will continue to be in the motion only unless and until acted upon by some force. See, you will able to notice, I will give one practical example over here, that if you are throwing a ball or if a batsman hits the ball, what happens? The ball moves certain distance and after that it slows down and comes to rest. What is the reason behind it slows down and comes to rest? Then nothing but there is some opposing force known as frictional force. Opposing force known as frictional force, which reduces the speed of the ball in order to change its state from motion to rest. Clear? So frictional force is nothing but what? An external agency only, which is trying to do what? Changing the state of the motion. Yes or no? Changing the state of the motion to rest. Till this clear? And there was Newton's second law of motion. What was Newton's second law of motion? The rate of change of momentum with respect to time is nothing but what? External force acting on the body. And the Newton's third law of motion, every action and reaction are equal and opposite. Till this clear? These are the 3 laws of motion given by Newton. Now moving to the chapter title, that is laws. And there is one more term, that is motion. Everybody knows motion. What is motion? If the position of the body changes with respect to time, then it is said to be that body is in motion. So you can say an object is said to be in motion, if its position changes with respect to time. Is this clear? An object is said to be in motion if position changes with respect to time. Here what do you mean by laws? Laws are nothing but the postulates which determine some natural phenomena. I'll tell you that physics, everybody knows what is physics. Physics is a branch of science. Physics is a branch of science that deals with 2 things. Various natural phenomena, number 1. And second, first is the various natural phenomena, and second, yes, that is the laws governing them. So you can write physics is a branch of science that deals with the various natural phenomena, and laws governing them. Clear? So physics you got clear, the title is now clear. Now moving to the very first thing of this title, in this chapter after title, that is force. What exactly force means? Remember one thing, that force is nothing but an external agency. What it is? External agency. There is two type of force, either push or pull. So you can say that it is an external agency, bracket. In bracket you can write either pull or push. Either pull or push, which changes the state of rest or motion or uniform motion or direction of the motion. Clear? You can say that force is an external agency, either push or pull, which changes the state of motion or direction of motion, is known as what? Force. Till this clear? What is force? Force is an external agency. You can note down as force is an external agency. External agency. Either you can say it as push or pull, which changes the state of rest or uniform motion or direction of motion Till this clear? What is force? Either push or pull. Pull means what? To drag an object. Push means to move away from the object. That is known as push, and this is your pull. This is the two basic terms, and that is nothing but an external agency that used to change the state of rest or motion or direction of motion. I'll tell you that if this pen are lying on the floor, these are stationary. If I'll push them, they will start moving. Here you'll be able to see that the state of rest is being changed into state of motion. And if an object is moving, and if I put hand, if ball is moving on a floor, and if I'll place a hand in between, what will happen? The motion will be stopped. Yes or no? I obstructed the motion. That means what? The state has, by external force, I am applying external force, which means what? It changes the state of motion to state of rest. Till this clear? Force. Okay. Now moving to the next title, that is, now you have to remember the thing, that is, the force can do various things. The very first thing that can force execute, that is number one. Remember characteristics of force. Force can change the state of rest. Can change the state of rest or motion. Clear? Can change the state of rest or motion. The very first thing that is being done with the help of force. Either you can change the state of rest into motion or motion to rest. I can write over here, either you can change the state of rest to motion, or you can say the state of motion to rest. Both you will execute by applying external agency. Clear? That is force. Clear the very first. Now moving to the second, we do have, that is, it changes the speed of the object. It changes the speed of the object. Clear? Now here it changes the speed of the object means either it makes the object moving faster, or it slows down the object. So you can say that object moves faster, or you can say object is being slowed. Object is being slowed down. I'll give you an example. That have you seen horse cart? Where you're able to notice that the horse is being what? Pulling the cart. Clear? Initially the horse pulls the cart and brings the cart from the state of rest to state of motion. Initially the cart was standing on the road, means that it was at rest. When the horse attached the cart to it, then if horse starts moving, the cart is being pulled by the horse. So you can say that here there is a change. The horse gave the external force, provided the external agency force. In what happens to it? The cart start moving besides the horse. Yes or no? If the horse exerts more force, larger force, If horse start exerting larger force, what will happen? The speed of the car increases. So either you can say force can be used to change the speed of the object. It can what you can say, it can increases the speed of the object by exerting large force. And if you want to decrease the speed also, what will do? You need to apply force. For example, when you are moving on a road with on your vehicle, and if you find your destination, what you need to do? You apply brakes to slow down the vehicle. You are applying brakes in order to reduce the speed of the vehicle. Till this clear? The third function of the force, that is, can anyone tell me what is the third function of the force? First, it changes the state of rest or motion. Second, we have studied it changes the speed of the object. And third, that we are going to study, it changes the direction of motion. It changes the direction of motion. It changes the direction of the motion. I can give you one practical example of this. Have you seen the steering of a car? Yes. You are applying force on the steering. What happens? It changes the direction or not? Yes or no? So you are applying force on the steering of a vehicle, which changes the direction of motion. So force can do three things. Number one, it can change the body from state of rest to uniform motion, or from uniform motion to rest. Second, it can increase or decrease the speed of an object. And third, we have studied that it can change the direction of the motion. Till this clear? Hope perfectly cleared. Now moving to the next topic that we do have with us, that is types of forces. That is types of forces. Now what do you mean by types of forces? Let us check which are the types of forces. There are two types of forces. Type number one is known as contact force. One is known as contact force, and second one is known as field force. Second one is known as field force. Now see, from the very first name of the force, that is contact force, we'll be able to make some first view of that. What do we mean by contact force? Contact force is nothing but the force that is acting on both the objects which are on physical interaction. Clear? If two bodies are in physical interaction and some external force is being applied on it, or then it is known as what? Contact force. Or you can say that the force exerted by the two bodies when they are in physical interaction. You will able to notice one thing over here, that contact force always acts on both the objects. Contact force always acts on both the object. So how will you define contact force? The contact force is the force exerted by the object. The contact force is defined as the force exerted by the object when the objects are in physical interaction. When objects are in physical interaction is known as contact force. If two objects are in physical interaction, the force exerted on either of the object means the force is being exerted on both the objects by one another. Clear? This will exert on this and this will exert on this. This force is known as what? Contact force. This is known as contact force. Second is field force. The force exerted due to field like gravitational field, electric field, magnetic field. Such type of force is known as field force. The force experienced by an object in field is known as field force. Example, you will say, if I am throwing this pen from here, this pen is moving to what? Towards the earth due to gravitational field with uniform acceleration. So this is nothing but what? Field force. This gravitational force is known as what? Field force. Second, electrostatic force. If two objects are lying on the floor having same polarity, like charges repel, unlike charges attract each other. So there are two types of forces in electrostatic, that are positive force and negative force. Which are positive force? Repulsive force are known as positive force. I am noting down over here. Positive force is known as positive force, repulsive in nature. Repulsive means like charges. Repulsive means like charges. Like charges means both plus or both minus. Second force is known as negative force. Second force is known as negative force, that is attractive in nature. Attractive in nature, that is unlike charges. Unlike charges, that is one is plus and second is minus. Till this clear? Two types of electric forces. That is when two charges are held stationary. If they are having same polarity, repulsion will exist. That is known as positive force. And if two charges are held stationary and having unlike polarities, means one is plus and one is minus, then you will be able to notice that they will attract towards each other. And this attractive force is nothing but known as what? Field force. Till this clear? And third, I have told you that what? Magnetic force. If a nail is being placed nearer to magnet, what will happen? It will drag that nail. Yes or no? Again, that is attractive type of force. That is nothing but which type of force? Field force. The force experienced by the object due to magnetic field of a magnet. That's why it is known as what? Field force. Hope it is cleared perfectly. Now moving to the last topic of today's session, that is Aristotle fallacy. The last topic that is very interesting topic today we are going to study, that is Aristotle fallacy. Aristotle fallacy. What do you mean by fallacy, sir? What is exactly meaning of fallacy? Fallacy is nothing but what? A failure to reasoning. A failure to reasoning. Clear? A failure to reasoning is known as fallacy. Failure to reasoning means what? If we are not able to reason, if we are not able to give any logical reason behind such statements, then it is known as what? Fallacy. That is Aristotle fallacy. Now here everybody knows what is Aristotle. Who was Aristotle? Aristotle was a Greek philosopher. Yes or no? Aristotle was a Greek philosopher, and in the year 384 to 329 BC, 384 to 329 BC, he stated that, remember, he stated that the natural state of an object is the state of rest. He is saying that the natural state of a body is nothing but the state of rest. Means he is saying that every body, though they are moving, they will slow down eventually to come to rest only. He is saying that though the body is moving, the body will eventually comes to slow down and comes to rest. मतलब એનું કેવું હતું કે દરેક બોડી જે બી મૂવ કરી રહી છે અત્યારે જે બી મોશનમાં છે ક્યારેક ને ક્યારેક તો રેસ્ટ પર આવશે જ. એનું કેવું હતું રેસ્ટ ઇઝ કન્સિડર્ડ ટુ બી વોટ? ધ નેચરલ સ્ટેટ ઓફ અ બોડી. દરેક બોડી રેસ્ટ પર આવવા ઈચ્છે છે એવું એનું કહેવું હતું. બટ he said one thing over here. If we wish to keep a body moving, if we wish to keep a body moving, he said that an external force is needed to be applied in order to keep moving that object. He told that if we need to move the object continuously with uniform velocity, we need to apply an external force on it continuously. This was Aristotle's prediction. But you'll be able to notice that in the year 1564 to 1642, what happened, Galileo Galilei, after 2000 years, declared that the external force needed in order to keep the body moving is to overcome the opposing frictional force. Is nothing but to overcome opposing frictional force. Means, I'll give you one simple example. When the batsman hits the ball used to move a bit far and then it slowed down and then it gets stopped. Why it gets stopped and slowed down? The reason behind that is the frictional force of the land that is continuously acting upon what? A ball, which reduces its speed. Yes or no? That's why it comes to rest. Galileo Galilei stated that if the external opposing force is being reduced or it's absent, then there is no need of external force applied to the body in order to keep the body moving with uniform velocity. He said that if frictional force is absent, then there is no need of external force applied to a body in order to keep moving. It will move on its own. I'll give you one example. Suppose we are having a frictionless surface, and if we are throwing a marble on it, what will happen? It will continuously move. It will never stop because friction is zero. Opposing force is zero. Clear? Clear? So this was the Aristotle fallacy, where Aristotle failed to give the reason. He stated that the natural state of a body is rest, and if in order to keep the body moving with uniform velocity, we need to apply continuous force on it. Till this clear? We'll see more topics into the next session. Thank you.